Hi, everybody. All right, so today is the first day of unleavened bread. Numero uno. Okay, so yesterday was the Passover. So when the sun went down yesterday, that was the end of Passover day, and so the very next day after Passover day is the first day of unleavened bread. And then tomorrow will be the second day of unleavened bread, and the third day, etc., all the way to the seventh day of unleavened bread. So, so I've got my unleavened bread over here. Triscuits, of course, have no leavening. I love Triscuits. I've got my hamburger with bread with leavening in it. If you're like, oh, hey, I thought you're not supposed to have any leavening, then you need to watch my video about the Passover. It's intentional. That's the symbol that I want to make, that I want to do in my worship here. Got some incense going, some green tea, the guardian angel candle, the Yahushua candle. It's a Jesus holiday. Today we are celebrating the number 1. Okay, so the Passover is all about the healing power of the cross. And I've already done a bunch of videos on the Passover, the videos before this on the playlist about the healing power of the cross and about Jesus and everything. But the way the healing power of the cross works is through the number 7. So as you know, there's 7 days in the week. So 7 is a very sacred number. It's the number of completion. Jah created the world in 7 days. Of course, the Bible is not a book of science. It's a teaching. The creation story is actually just an introduction to the deity of Yahweh. And that's really what we're celebrating, is how Yahweh works and how the healing power of the cross works. It works through the number 7. So today we're celebrating number 1. So imagine you're floating in outer space and there's a little dot, a little teeny dot floating in space. Well, guess what? It's not little nor is it teeny. In fact, it's not near, it's not far, it's not anything. It's because there's nothing to compare it to. You don't have near or far, big or small until you have something to compare it to. So when you get to number 2, you still don't have those things because there's only 2 points and there's nothing else to suggest that there would ever be anything else but those 2 points, as far as big and small and far and near. If you have 3 points and number 1 and number 3 are closer together than number 2, now you know number 2 is further away. See? And if number 1 is really big and number 2 is even bigger and then number 3 is really small, see? If it was just number 1 and number 2, one's really big and one's even bigger, you kind of are starting to see that some things are bigger than others, but you kind of don't at the same time. Maybe everything just keeps getting bigger and bigger as the number goes. Maybe number 3 is going to be even bigger than that, but it isn't. It's smaller. So now you're all, wait on a second. Some things are big, some things are small. So the number 1 is, of course, a phallic symbol. The correct way to count is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The correct way to count is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the chicken comes before the egg. Number 0 is the first number, which is the vagina. Number 1, of course, is the penis. And then when you combine the penis and the vagina, then you have number 2, number 3, then things start multiplying. So in the Kabbalah, number 1 is represented as the first sphere on the top of the Sephirot, the tree of life. The Sephirah number 1 is the corresponding Hebrew word is Keter, which means crown. It's the crown chakra, and its color is white because white is none of the colors. It's weird. People get that backwards. So the three numbers across the abyss on the tree of life in the Kabbalah is, so we're talking about gematria, the sacred geometry, Gematria. There's metaphysics and there's gematria and there's numerology. Numerology is more the meaning of the numbers, you know. So when you're celebrating the number one, you want to look at it from a metaphysical perspective, from just a basic physics perspective, from a linguistic perspective, from a numerology perspective, which is kind of more of a spirituality perspective, and from a gematria perspective. Right now, we're kind of doing more of a gematria, a Kabbalistic look at the number one. So number one's corresponding color is white, and then numbers 1, 2, and 3 are across the abyss. Number 4, which is also the last letter of the tetragram, YHWH, is the first number across the abyss. So number 1 is white, number 2 is gray, and number 3 is black. So number 3 is black. It's all the colors. That means that's the corresponding Hebrew word is bina, which means unity. So black is all the colors. And then white is none of the colors. And then gray is something in between black and white. So number 1 is white, number 2 is gray, and number 3 is black. Then you cross the abyss to number 4, which is Kesed, and that's blue. And so number 4, the name Yahweh, Jah, the tetragrammation, has 4 letters, YHWH, fire, water, air, and earth, because earth is manifest form. It's Yod, Che, Vau, and then Che. So the 4th letter is a repeat of the second. So that implies that when the first 3 are 1, you have manifestation of form, number 4. And so that's earth, because the earth is the manifest world. So in other words, number 4 is the purest, it's the best guess of who Jah is. Who Jah really is across the abyss. And we attempt to put it into language, and the best we can do is number 4, which is above us because we're number 6. The individual is number 6. So you still have to go to number 5 and create the upper polarity before you get to number 6. So number 1 is white because it's the idea. It's the furthest thing away going up to the very top of the tree. Of course, you have the 3 negative vowels above there for the number 0. So there's not a holiday to celebrate number 0. There probably should be. That's why the Buddha shaved his head to look like a baby's head in a vagina, in a womb of the universe. And the circle means everything. So it means the universe. Number 1 means the first thing after the universe when you started to create something. On the first day of creation, Jah said, "Let there be light." And there was fire, there was light, so that's a masculine energy, wands in the tarot deck. Number 2, the earth was a big ball of water, that's water, so number 2 is spirit. And then number 3 is air, and then that's when the land rose up out of the ground, and we had air on the 3rd day. Then the 4th day, it just repeats everything. It says, yes, now we have planets and orbits and everything spinning, because 4 means manifested form, and it's the first one across the abyss. So you can see that process of how things are created. So number 1 is the words in your head. That's why we pray with words and stuff. 1 is a phallic symbol because candles and incense and prayer and word and worshiping the penis, the lingam, and like the different things we do in the religion, it's phallic, but it started from the vagina, things come out of a vagina and are birthed out of the vagina into number 1. So that's what we're celebrating today, is the number 1. And basically how we do it in the Yan Sui is everything I just said, you just you stomach all that and you review it and you think about it and you think about it, and eat yourself some unleavened bread while you're at it.